Hello guys, this is IDQ, and in this video we'll go over where to ward in the new map and basically best word spots and what change about wording right now.
If you like this type of content, go to gamersclass.com. For just $9.99 a month, watch masterclasses with pro players, join exclusive live sessions, and get 24/7 access to coaches and other high MMR players. Get full control of your ranked games and start owning with our Supreme Dota 2 membership.
Let's start with Radiant, obviously, Radiant safe lane. The one word that you might want to place here would be this one. This is like the only reasonable word that does some stuff for you. First of all, you see the wave right here, and you also see the opponents trying to pull in case they want to pull. So this is the only situation where you would want to word here. But since it's not that useful in game, I mean, first of all, you only have two words right from the start, and the mid lane will take one and the off lane will take one to block a camp most likely. So because of this, yeah, this word is not very high probability for Radiant to place. This would be another decent spot to place a word early game, because you will see the position for trying to rotate towards mid, right? Which is super important. If they have like a roamer such as Mirana or let's say Pudge or something like that, your mid laner might get saved by this word right here, since it covers a lot of area, right? The full river, and also you will know if the position 4 enemy is going to take is going for the bounty rune here. I mean, not the bounty rune, the new rune, the water rune, right? Or the bounty rune, depends when the time is. So you can like choose to go top if you spot the position 4 enemy going like this, right, towards the rune. So this sword is pretty good early game. Also mid game is decent for Radiant. It shows like a river dire, it shows two camps and a lot of space where the ganks are coming through. Like this is a highly frequented part of the map. It also shows a bit of the outpost. I mean, close to the outpost, so it's a really good word. This word, it's another really good word for Radiant. By the way, we'll go from Radiant to dire, obviously, from the bottom side towards the top, and talk about words from both sides. So this one would be for Radiant, a defensive word, a pretty good defensive word, since you see almost 4 camps, right? I mean 3 camps, but 1, 2, 3 camps. But the main part about this is that if the opponent is getting a rune bottom here, it will obviously walk like this, right? Most of the time, walk like this or like this towards the bottom lane. So if they do this, this one might be able to spot them, especially if they come here. If you have a carry that likes to jungle fast and early, for example as Ven, let's say, this word is going to protect him pretty well, because you have a lot of vision in your jungle, like almost half of the jungle is covered right here. So the opponent mid lane is going to have a hard time coming to gank like this, right, since you can just back away multiple directions, here, towards there, or even like this if you're in this position. So this word is pretty good defensively for Radiant. Mid game, I believe, and decently early game. This word is not as useful, to be honest, for Radiant side especially, since it doesn't really offer you that much vision, right? I mean, it offers you half of the vision is covered by this part of the map, and you already have vision of this, right? From this tower gives you a bit of vision, and also since like no opponent is gonna be here kind of early, and towards the late game, like this word doesn't really do that much defensively, since you will most likely play in the enemy jungle right here. So defensively this word is not that great, but it's pretty good towards mid game to spot enemy carriers that are farming your jungle here, right? Also another thing is that you have the outpost here, so this also provides a bit of vision, and this tower, so like more than half of the vision of this word is like already covered almost, outpost and tower. So because of this, I don't really like this word for Radiant to place it defensively. Offensively is decent to see the enemy carry farming this part of the map, but it's not that usual that it happens to be a useful word. Mid lane words are just like the old patch. Right here would be one, another one here, on this side, here and here, maybe even here where I'm sitting right now with the hero if you would like, but those are the main ones because you can see the enemy high ground. So if someone's trying to gank you and it is nighttime, and also allows you to track the creeps, pull the wave back towards your tower. This is a decent ward defensively, but only mid game towards late game, because it shows the ancient games that if the opponents take a triangle, right, you would like to see where they're farming and if they're all here. But it's not that great, because it's kind of easy to spot where the ward is, right? Since you know it's obviously on the high ground. So another option would be to place the ward like right here, almost on top of the bounties if possible, because it still shows the same area, right? Actually even more. You see this camp, you see 3 camps of 1 ward. I'm talking about defensive wards for Radiant, in case. And if they place the center right here, as you can see, it won't get spotted. Another option would be to place it here. It shows like this camp, and if they're coming from this ramp, it's pretty good. And another option would be right here. So it's kind of a straight line of wards, because they're a lot harder to spot. For example, if I would put a sentry here, it still will not spot this ward, or this ward, or this ward. But you know, because they're not on high ground. So these wards are pretty useful. It shows like 3 camps, this one, 1, 2, and obviously since you see this part of the vision, you will know who's farming there, because you will have a split second to see if someone's going there on the map. Other warding spot, pretty good defensive ward, is this. It shows a bit of rush speed, but it's like not that useful, since you're Radiant, you obviously should have like this part of the map for yourself, and the opponent should have this. So if it's a rush speed fight, it's not that useful, that one. What we want to do is kind of place it right here if there's a rush fight, since you see the whole entrance of the rush pit and also a bit of the river, and yeah, here also. So try to do this from the high ground, right? Since it's a lot harder for the enemy to spot you when you're high ground, because they might have the exact same ward right here, let's say. So if you're high ground, they won't spot you. But if you go here to place where I placed the ward for the dire, they will obviously be able to spot you. This ward is actually decent early game, because it shows the rotation of the mid lane right towards your enemy mid lane, towards your tier 1 top on the off lane. So let's say there's a puck here on the enemy mid lane, is getting a DD or something like that and wants to gank. This ward will obviously, you know, show if they're coming towards you or not. So it's pretty good. It covers like the whole portion of the river right here. Maybe they might sneak from there, but I don't think so. Offensive wards on the dark side of the map would be this one. Is one of them for Radiant. Pretty early, obviously, since you know there's a tier 1 there. But it shows you the wave, right? It shows you the wave of where the opponents are hiding right here. If they're setting up a gank, if someone is TPing, for example, enemy mid laner gets a fast level 6 and is TPing, this one might be able to spot it. Other one would be right here, which is almost the same, but yeah, it's like basically the same idea. One cool trick that you can do is place this type of ward right here when they have like something like a morphling, or you know, and you can snipe them with some abilities. Obviously it also works really well when you have a Patch or Mirana or something like that with a skill shot. So you have vision here where you usually wouldn't have vision. Other pretty good ward spot would be this right here. It shows, or I mean even a bit forward on the middle of the lane, because it shows the courier movement, right? And if the opponents are trying to pull this camp, which is like super important, right? You can stop the pulls, and also if you're playing something like a bounty hunter, you might even snipe the couriers, which is, you know, really good, especially if you can kill the courier while it's delivering regen. Other word would be right here, which serves sort of the same purpose, right? I'm just talking about the early game, those 2 words. This one might be decent mid game and late, towards the late game also. In the early game it shows if the opponents are pulling, right? They could pull like this, just go upwards towards the wave when it's time, cut this tree obviously, and then just pull the wave, right? So you might be able to stop it because of that. Also this camp is getting spotted by this word, so you can stop the pull also. Another interaction that is pretty good is that you might see the opponent position 5 going towards this rune, since now to secure the room for the mid laner. This word is also pretty good because it won't get spotted by a sentry right here, and it gives you a lot of vision, like I said before. 2 camps, full position 5 going towards this bounty. I mean the runes here, river. This is also a really good word. Early, mid game, late game, this word is one of the best right now. It's the new spot word. Also, it covers 4 camps. This is an offensive word, obviously, if you're playing Radiant. So this one is really good at all the time of the game, simply because it covers 4 farming spots, 4 camps. This one, big one, small one, medium one, and another big one. So it's obviously like almost more than half of the jungle. There are 6 camps here and 2 here. So you cover 60% of the enemy's jungle. I mean 66%, just with one word. So because of that, it's really, really important. It also gives you vision of the mid lane trying to gank your off lane early game, because it covers like most of the river, almost like half of the river. They come like this, which is most efficient. You will be able to spot him in early game. Mid game, like I said, is super good because it shows 4 camps, so you can easily set up ganks. So it's a really good offensive word for Radiant. Another wording spot would be here. It's sort of like the old one. It used to be right here, I believe. Or anyway, super close to this. It shows 2 camps, but these are pretty important camps, right? Since now they remove the camp from here and set it right here, that means that the opponent mid laner has to walk more to farm, right? This camp, obviously. If they're a farming mid laner, instead of walking to here, they have to walk to like here or here, but you know, it's a lot more distance to be covered. So because of that, if you have vision here, you have more time to set up a gank. Since it's obviously more distance covered, more time spent, you can easily set up a gank here. It also shows the river, so you can see which runes are spawned, and some of the rotation from the mid lane enemy towards your off lane are getting spotted by this word also. So it's a pretty good word.
Out of my way.
Also showing 2 camps, river vision, everything. It's a decent word. Mid game and early game, even late game sometimes, because of the rush potential with this. It shows like almost half of the entrance of the rush pit. So because of this, I would say that this word is really good. This is also where the enemy team would be situated in case of rush fight pit. I mean rush fight. Because, you know, this is their side, so they would be situated on this hill most likely, and you will be able to spot them with this word. Another word that's pretty good would be this. It shows 2 camps, obviously, and the outpost. So if someone TPs here is trying to go towards top to farm a wave, or you know, gank your offlane, something like that, you will most likely be able to spot them in like 80% of the time at least. You will be able to spot them, unless they TP like right here on the end, which is, you know, possible but not like probable. Other thing is that it's kind of underrated. It shows this part of the map. So for example, if you're sitting in a tier 2 top and the opponents have a blink sanking or blink air shaker, there's a possibility they would be like right here, right? So because of this word, you might be able to avoid their initiation, or even cancel it or kill their shaker or whatever the hero might be, even before they can go on. So it's a really underrated part of this word, to be honest. This part of the map being shown, which would usually be covered in fog. It also shows 2 camps, so you might be able to spot the enemy carrier or mid laner farming this, so you can like set up a gank on them. I believe this type of word is mid and early game situated. Towards the late game, it's not that great anymore, I believe, since it's like pretty easily dewordable. I would like to offer countermeasure for this type of word. I mean, not countermeasure, another option. For example, you can place a word like let me think about it for a second. Right here, and you will obviously it won't get rewarded by a sentry high ground, and this word, it gives you like sort of similar vision, right? If the opponent is going right here to farm, you will see them where they're going. You will see 3 camps almost. I mean, indirectly seeing 3 camps, right?
As thou will it.
Because you will know which part they're going. So if they don't show on the map right here, you will know that they're farming these camps. So you can set up a gang here, here, or here, just because of this word.
Out of my way.
However, you won't cover the runes. But if the opponent mid lane is something like a Shadow Fiend TA, this word would be super great, since you will be able to know where they are, the jungle. Other type of word that's pretty good would be right here. I mean, since it shows 3 camps, I'm talking about Raiden, obviously. An offensive word right here. Again, it won't get spotted by the sentry. It doesn't even get spotted by the outpost, but it shows 3 camps, right? 1, 2, and the third one right there. So you can see 3 words. 3 camps with 1 observable word. So it's kind of easy to set up for ganks, and it's really hard to get it worded, because if the opponents aren't that great, they will just place the sentry on the high ground. So it won't get spotted in any way, shape, or form. Other placed word would be right here, something like this. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. I was right before, right here. So it won't be in the outpost. It sort of covers 3 camps also, right? This one, and second one would be this. Especially if you can cut this 3. It covers like a lot of the map. And this one also, since, you know, if you see an opponent right here in the vision of the word, just PT creeps, you know that they're here, obviously. So yeah, it covers 3 camps, and you also won't get dewarded. So these 2 words are really good right now, in my opinion, and won't get dewarded easily. So you can easily set up with these 2 words or 1 word. Either way, you see a lot of the vision, or a lot of the enemy jungle where they would like to farm, and it won't get dewarded that easily. I found a 3rd spot actually for this type of word that covers like almost everything in the jungle. Would be this one, the word that I'm sitting close to. It shows 3 camps again, which is like really nice. This word is actually decent for the Radiant placing in offensively. So you can see this camp and this one, a small camp and a big camp. It's really good, like I said before, sort of like this type of word right here, or like this, against an enemy mid laner that likes to farm, right? Since they would usually go here, since it's the closest camp to the wave. So they will farm this small camp, and then if the wave is not pushing their tower, they will go here. So again, you can set up on them to try and kill them. Also shows the river, which is really nice. See a rune, you can take it, or, you know, just deny it. So yeah, it's really good. Also has the potential of scouting the enemy mid laner going towards their safe lane to gank. Unless they TP, this word's really nice. This one would be another decent word. However, this type of word is a lot better in the late game, because it only shows 1 camp, right? 1 Asian camp. I mean, yeah, it's really good, obviously, but you would want to place this word when you have control of this area already. So you see if the opponents are trying to take back that area, right, that triangle, because it doesn't offer that much as the other words, since it's only 1 camp. However, it's really good to counteract the enemy trying to take back their triangle. It also shows this vision right here, so it's exactly like tier 2 top, like this portion of the map, except this one is better here. This is covered in fog, right? So if the enemies are trying to set up on you and you place a word here, you might be able to spot them and then cancel their initiation, or even kill them before they even try to go on you, because of this word. So it's really good on that aspect of the game. Other words that I would suggest placing instead of the high ground word offensively to try and catch the enemy off guard, try to kill them, would be something like this, right? Shows both camps, both ancient and this one, the pink camp. And it's also kind of hard to get dewarded by vision. As I said before, if you place the sentry there, it obviously won't show the word. Same as here, it won't show the word. Other spot would be right here. It shows 3 camps basically. This one is also like covered. This one and this one, and even this one, like down the middle, exactly where the bounty is. It shows 2 camps. It's very similar to this one. This one might be the best one because it shows 3 position, and they also spot the mid lane going towards bottom. Unless they TP or go to the river, but this one would be towards the late game, I would say. So it's harder to reward them, and it's pretty easy for you to set up. Try and get a pick off and then go towards Rosh. Other spots that have increased value as a ward would be here, right? Tinker wards, basically. You would only place them against Tinker or maybe like heroes that are hiding in the trees a lot, right? Trying to push, split pushing your, like this tower, for example, if you're dire. But because this part was added right now in this patch, it's a lot easier to place a ward here and see the enemy, exactly like in this case, to, you know, try and go on you. For example, if they have a Magnus trying to RP from here, it would all be, if you're pushing in this tower, they will obviously like sit right here, right? So they're close to you, and then blink, and then probably RP. But if you would have this ward, it's a lot easier to see them trying to set up on you. So this ward got added value. This one didn't really that much, since they didn't really change this portion of the map. This one might have, let me check. No, not really. But this one obviously has.
None shall hinder me.
Because, again, it is the same idea. Someone's trying to set up on you from here, you can spot them. So this word and this word has increased value from the last patch. Onto the dire side, this would be a pretty good word. It shows the lane. Obviously, if the enemy mid laner might TP here, there's a chance that you might see him with this word. Also, you are able to see the opponent trying to pull. So because of this, it's pretty good position to have on a word. This word right here is also really good for dire. It shows this cam when it's getting pulled. I mean, you will barely see it, but it's pretty good. This camp also, and if the opponent position force trying to go mid to gank or take the rune, you will be able to spot them right here with this word. It also offers towards the mid game and early game, it depends on your carry, very good vision of the jungle, right? If the enemy are trying to invade the jungle like this, you will be able to spot them, and it covers a lot of the map that you might want to see right here.
Onward.
This word is a decent defensive word, because the opponent mid laner would want to go here, right, to contest your carry farming. So this word is gonna show a lot of the map, a lot of the river. It's almost impossible to get ganked if you have this word right here. No carry is gonna die all these camps if you have this word, and also even here. So you secure 3 camps with 1 word defense by placing this word defensively. Shows the rune also, so it's really good. This word is not that great, to be honest. Just like I said on the Radiant side, it's decent. It's similar to this word, obviously. It's not that great. Only if you wanna like take back your triangle. Only then, because it might be too dangerous to go here to place a word. But yeah, this word is not that great, since you already should have this part of the map, right? So it doesn't really offer you any vision, any useful vision in this area, this area, even here, since you most likely have control of this area. So you only should be placing this word right here if the opponent has the triangle and you might want to gank someone with its farming station. This word is also a really good defensive word. Shows the rune obviously, and it secures like 2 camps, actually like 3 camps most likely, because if the opponent mid laner is gonna come from here like this, you're gonna spot them. Like this, you're gonna spot them, and even going towards your off lane, you're still going to spot the enemy with a rune going towards there to gank someone. But because of the placement of this word, the ancients are also like secured, right? Since they can only come like through this part of the map to gank your ancients without entering in vision, which is kind of complicated because nobody wants to go like this, right? As you can see, it's a lot more map to cover instead of just going like this. So yeah, because of this was really useful.
Onward.
Early game, mid game, and even late game. What do you want to do as a off lane, in your off lane, this ward is decent. So you can see the enemy bringing items, the couriers, you might be able to snipe them, and also this camp's getting covered.
None shall hinder
Other really good vision would be this. It shows both camp getting pulled like this,
Truth
so it's really good.
compels me.
Also showing the position 5. If he wants to go towards the bottom rune, he's gonna get spotted. So because of this, I highly value this word for the offlane,
Onward.
just for the stopping pulls. This word is pretty good towards early mid game.
I.
It's decent, but this part of the river is not that useful after you have taken their tier 1 bottom, since this will become your part of the map, so it only shows like this. That might be like useful,
None shall hinder me.
and this, as you can see, if the tier 1 is taken, your team is gonna move into this area, right? So this area would be yours, river would be yours, and this also, so it's not that great. But however, it shows a bit of this, right? So if your carry wants to farm these 2 camps, this word provides a lot of safety for him, which is really nice. Mid game, and I said like a bit of the early game. I mean early game towards mid game. Later in the game, this one decreases its value. This word, however, is super important. One of the best new word spots for the Dire. It shows a lot of the lane. So, like I said, if you take the tier 1, this part of the map becomes yours. So then this word shows the way, right? So if your carry is farming like this, here or here, anywhere, they will have to TP here, right, to gank you. So this word shows a lot of the lane of the opponent's rotation towards this part of the map, which is super important, so your carry doesn't get ganked. Also, it covers the outpost, so any TPs here will be 100% in vision and spotted. So this one is really nice. Also covers 2 camps. So if some opponents are deciding to farm this camp, you can like kill them. Other word that's really nice is this. Super high value.
Yes.
It shows 3 camps, right? I mean 2 camps, but technically this one's kind of covered also.
Out of my way.
Which is, if someone's hitting like this, you'll be able to spot them, right? As you can see by the circle, blue circle. So it covers 3 camps, also covers a lot of the rotation from the mid laner, opponent mid laner towards the off lane. So this one's highly valuable. Or even rotation from the position 5 towards mid. So this one is also one of the best words right now in this patch, I feel like. So this one and this one for the Dire offensive words,
I go.
and this one would be defensive to later, obviously. Let's go into the triangle. This word is really good, just like this one. This one's highly valuable when you're playing offensively and have control of this triangle, because it will be hard for the opponent to take back the triangle if you see them coming, right? You can either set up for a fight or you will have vision, and then it's a lot harder for them to fight. It also shows a bit of this vision right here, so you might spot some TPs if you're pressuring tier 2, which is really nice in this case. Also shows you the runes and obviously this camp.
Truth compels me.
But I would suggest, if you don't have the like tier 1 taken mid and here, if you don't have control of this area, you should be placing word right here, because it shows 2 camps, right? And also the ramp. It shows this camp, and this camp is technically covered, because obviously you see creeps. So if they're hitting someone, you will know that a hero is there, so you can set up ganks, obviously. Also shows this ramp and this ramp, so if the opponent mid lane is going towards the safe lane, instead of tipping, you will be able to spot them.
Yes.
This word is really valuable late game though. Late game and mid game, when the enemy carry starts to farm the triangle, the ancient cap, like super important, obviously. Another place for the word would be here.
None shall hinder me.
Same, it covers 2 camps, actually sort of 3 camps almost, and it shows you.
Yes.
It gives you a lot of opportunities to gank, basically, when the opponents are farming. This one is also decent. Again, it shows like 2 camps, and this one is covered also.
The path is clear.
So yeah, this are really good offensive wards if you want to try to set up a gank right here in the triangle, enemy triangle.
Out of my way.
In this case, you would want to ward right here, just like the Radiant would here, for the Roche fight, because it's highly unlikely that it's gonna get spotted,
I go.
since the opponent won't be able to walk high ground if you're camping this high ground, so you can fight them here.
None shall
Other
hinder
places that are highly valuable for a ward would be here, one of them, since it shows 2 camps, and it's also pretty highly unlikely that it's gonna get rewarded. If I place a sentry right here, you see it won't get spotted. Same if I place a sentry here, again same idea, it won't get spotted, obviously. So this shows a lot of this is a pretty good word mid game, sometimes even late game, but most of the time mid game toward the game, when the carries are starting to farm jungle. You can easily spot them trying to farm this. Other decent word spot would be right here, just outside of the outpost, but this one is most likely not going to be that useful,
onward.
because it only shows one camp, unless the opponents are doing something like this, right? Which they should be. Just drag the creep so they don't take a lot more damage, because the creep will go back towards the camp, as you can see, and I can still continue attacking and they will go back, so I don't take damage by the creeps that are going back. So if the opponents are good and are doing something like that, you will have vision of them also. Third spot would be right here. This shows 2 camps, this one obviously and this one, but it also gives you a lot more vision of this, because if the opponent carry is coming like this, right, you will know if they're going to this camp, because it's going to be obvious, right? They're going to go straight to this, so this word is also going to be able to spot this camp technically, like this, you know.
Truth compels me.
But one important part would be that if you have a quelling blade, sometimes it's worth to just cut trees down, right? If you could cut those three trees down,
I go.
you will be able to spot another camp. Actually, I believe if you just place the word right here, you will be able to cover this camp also. I will check into a lobby actually again to make sure. Okay, so I have checked, and yeah, this word is also super valuable. It's probably second best after this one right here,
The true path.
because it shows you this camp and this camp. However, you need to cut a tree, so because of this the opponent might, you know, be able to figure it out, but probably not, since they will most likely just think that their carry just cut a tree. It will spot this camp also, right? Exactly like I explained this. If the carry just walking right here, it's obvious where it's gonna go. It's the same thing if it just walks like this, right? He's in vision, and then, you know, just stops here. So you will know that he's here, so you can set up ganks, obviously.
Yes.